Guys, we're going live. It's getting a little wacky out there. Um, Looks like we have a pretty good looking tornado warning storm over top of Daruzette, Texas. So you guys need to take your safe spots immediately. This storm is right on top of you. Yeah, I'm taking a close look at this. We do have a good 3D view of this thing. It is literally wrapping out and dropping down to the ground. So if you're in Daruzette, Texas, you need to get to your safe spot. Hold on just a sec. I'll pull up a 3D view of this bad guy right here, but not looking too pretty. They do have this warned, and it is definitely reaching down to the ground. So you want to get in your safe spot. I don't know if anybody else is live yet. I'll check just here in a minute. I don't know if we have a debris signature on this or not, but the 3D scan, it looks pretty rough. Yeah, this looks very threatening. This looks like it could be on the ground or dropping on the ground at any moment. We can kind of see here where our storm is. We can see our funnel in the side. This thing is attempting to drop on the ground. If it is not already, we does look like we have a possible debris signature here. I don't know if this is from that. Could be just interference from the hail. It's hard to say, but very good chance of this thing's on the ground right now. Looks like it's already past Daruzette, so that's a good thing. Let me pull up our Google Maps here real quick. Hopefully this went over Daruzette before it hit the ground. So it's like the rotation's literally like right here right now. We have many more houses out here. Looks like open fields pretty much after that. But yeah. What's the town we have next? This is going southeast though, so I don't need to worry about anything to the east. Take a look at the storm track on this again. On southeast. Yeah, like I said, I don't know for sure if that is a debris signature or not. It probably isn't, but it very well looks like this thing could be on the ground looking at our 3D scan right here. We clearly have very tight rotation dropping down to the ground right here. Well, technically going from about 40,000 feet down to 10,000. You obviously can't see below the 10,000 feet, but definitely won't be in your safe place for this thing. Been watching everything today. Seen Reed Timber done gave up on the old chase up in Kansas, but you still might have some more action down here in Texas. We got a lot of nasty looking storms all over the place. We got a lot of rotation all over the place. To be honest, I've been watching a lot of storms lately here. We definitely got some pretty good rotation in this hook here. We do have some radar interference. We had multiple other storms. I've been watching the ones that were tornado warned up in Kansas here. Let me go ahead and hop up there. Oh wait, this is the one that was coming from Kansas. My bad. We are literally in Texas. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is literally just hopped out of Oklahoma into Texas. Okay. I thought I was looking at a storm down nearby Austin. Nope. We're up here in right at the border of Texas and Oklahoma. This thing is tornado warned. These were the storms that Reed was chasing not too long ago. Yeah, they're still showing signs of rotation. Let's see here. Don't want to take that radar up north. I'm trying to see. Well, we are up on the north one, so we can pretty much see all these storms up here. Got a big mess of stuff here, like big broad rotation here and some hail. Got a little bit of hook forming on that guy right there. That's some pretty suspicious looking storms right now. Yeah, this one definitely made me want to go live temporarily because it looked like it was trying to drop a tornado right on top of this town. So I just wanted to make sure somebody was out there to help you guys out. How you doing, Tree? This is in Daruzet, Texas. This storm was actually in Kansas, went through that little lip of Oklahoma, and is now in Texas. And yeah, I was looking at the 3D view. This thing is looking pretty scary. Mia, go ahead and pull it back up. But I'm pretty sure this thing went on the ground or either is really close to being on the ground. Yeah, it's still got signs of it, even on this latest 3D scan. I mean, you see this guy right here. This thing is dropping down. We don't have any kind of rate confirmed tornado or any spotters on it at the moment, I don't believe. But yeah, it's not looking too nice. I mean, there's our CC scan again. I'll go ahead and bring up the NROT. I mean, I'm not showing crazy rotation on the NROT, but we do have it. We also have 2-inch hail inside the storm, it seems, as well. Quite a bit of rotation at the front part of this storm as well, too. Yeah, this just got tornado warned. I've been watching all of these very closely, and yeah, I seen this thing head right on top of this town, so it's time to go live. Good thing is it looks like there's pretty much nothing but fields from here on out after it gets past that town, and hopefully it didn't drop on the ground till after it got past the town. What's going on, weatherman? Yeah, been sitting here watching all these storms for the last 3 or 4 hours, and it's like, oh no, what's happening? Are we having something about to drop a tornado? Sure enough. Let me go ahead and pull up our threat for today since we are live now. This is our threat for today. Our 2% chance for tornadoes are in these areas, our 5% up here in the red, and we kind of a lot of crazy stuff's happening. We just had a big, massive hailstorm obliterate the north side of Austin about an hour and a half ago. I heard there's going to be like over $10 million worth of damage from that hail. So, and there was another one that was actually heading back down there towards Austin. So let's go check that one out too while we're here, because this storm, I mean, it's definitely rotating. It looks like it probably dropped on the ground, but it's out in the fields now, so it's not really too much of a big concern unless it starts to turn around and start heading to another town. Is this our one heading to Austin here? Yeah, let me jump to a different radar. This one's way up north here. This is the Dias Air Force Base. Let me drop down to Central Texas. So yeah, we have another big hailer heading into Austin here. It's going to be a little bit longer until it gets there. But this thing's a unit. Well, it doesn't look nearly as bad as the first one, but still got a pretty good size hail core. I don't know how far my scans are going back. I believe that's the first hailstorm that hit Austin. Let's go all the way back. Yeah, yeah. This is the first one that hit Austin. Did a whole bunch of damage on the north side of Austin. Guess it picked up a whole bunch of inflow and literally just made a whole bunch of hail right before it got to Austin and just dropped a ton of it. I seen there were some. I was listening to Reed Timmer stream and they said there was a whole bunch of videos of all the hail damage done in Austin there. But there's another one on its way. I mean, it's taking its sweet time, obviously, but it'll probably be there in an hour or two. Let me get my chat set up. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Temple, Texas. Let me check it out for you. Let me get everything set up. Let's start checking some things out for you guys. Temple, Texas. Heard we also have some big, nasty weather days coming like Monday or later on. Oh, so you're north. Yeah, I don't think anything's out there. Yeah. I mean, literally all we have are these two isolated supercells. Let me pull up the national map. It'll probably be easier to see them. So that's all we got. I mean, you can look at this too. Look at the. I mean, we gotta see that satellite view. It's just ripping these things to shreds, pulling them off to the northeast. But yeah, that's literally the only two storms we have in Texas right now. Yeah, but these things are getting ripped to pieces. And yeah, we just had this. Looks like we had a tornado drop down for a bit up here in up in Texas, basically Oklahoma Texas border. Let me go back up here again and take a look at this thing, see what it's still doing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we had a tornado on the ground here for a brief bit. It could still be. Let me see if we got anything more on the correlation coefficient. I'm not really seeing anything on that. And rot's still showing pretty good rotation. We still got good rotation on our velocity. Go ahead and pull up another 3D view of this thing. A little more sloppy than it was. It's still reaching down. This is when it was right on top of town, so it looked very concerning. That's why I went live. It looked like we had a tornado drop right on top of man, it's the craziest city name I've ever seen. You can clearly see right in here. Actually pulled it up on Google Maps. Daruzet? I think that's how you say it, Daruzet. I hope everybody's okay. I hope it didn't drop on the town. It does look like we have a pretty good nasty hail core up here, right off that just went over top of Follett and heading towards Catesby. What direction are these guys going in? So these are kind of going southeast too as well. Daruzet. Never had weather anxiety till now. Where are you at, Oscar? Oh, Temple. Yeah, you just told me Temple. Well, the good thing is Texas is massive, and all we have is two little storms in Texas, right? Well, I mean, I guess this kind of counts as Texas, but I mean, this thing's like 1,000 miles away from Temple. I'll take a closer look at some of the other storms. We can go back down to the ones in Texas too. Got this little guy right here. Thing's taking some funky looking shapes too. Really doesn't have that much size to it. See the velocity is the same. Nothing too concentrated right now. Just mainly a hailer. I think the other one's pretty much falling apart. What's left of it looks like it's just a blip down here by Lagrange. don't know if that's really all that's left or there's just mountains. I think this thing, I think the atmosphere pretty much shredded this one. Look at that. It ain't got nothing left to it. Shredded this thing. It sent this storm all the way up to Tennessee. What's left of it. That's crazy. Yeah, that storm. There's really nothing left of it. Let me pull up that national view again real quick. I wonder if I can get a satellite view on this. I think we have a satellite view on this one. My goodness, yeah. It just shredded this storm. Nothing left. All right, let me see if I can find the. I know I can switch to. Oh, what's it called? Switch it to the satellite view. Here we go. Oh, it doesn't have it. Just satellite base map. It's okay, but yeah, I mean, you can clearly see how these things just got ripped to shreds and sending them up towards Tennessee. Yeah, we still got a lot of storms up in Oklahoma and Kansas coming that way. Where exactly is our 5% threat in all this? Let's pull this up real quick. So it's pretty much all in this area right here. And that's actually where we just had that spin up, was towards the end of that red circle there. Yeah, like I said, good thing is there's nothing out there right now. It's out in the fields. So that's a good news for those guys. You head back up north. Looks like they dropped a tornado warning on it. Kind of heading into a interference band here, but it still looks like it's rotating pretty good. I don't know if I can get a better look at it. I'm gonna check it from comma. What I can see from over here. It looks like a pretty tight rotation there. Yeah, like I said, the good thing is it's out in the middle of nowhere. This is really far away though, but I mean, we can still see the rotation. Doesn't look nearly as bad as it was, but I think it's got some pretty good rotation still. Feel like Dodge City's still our best option right now because it feels like it's closest to it. How's everybody doing? How you doing, Steven? Goofy town names I know. I tell you what, I've never heard of this town till today. Uh, Hi from Central Oklahoma. How you doing, Simply Keats? Hello from Ohio. It's 9:45 here. I know it's like 7:45 out there for you guys, but this is GR2 Analyst is what I'm using. Yeah, I got everything linked in the description. I think I'm the only person streaming right now, so I don't think you can really get anybody else. I was just gonna say I do have a lot of other people linked in the description, but yeah, I think I'm the only person streaming right now. I don't think anybody else wanted to go live for this, but it had me worried. I seen this thing about to drop a tornado on top of this town, so I was like, I gotta come look at this. So I gotta go live real quick, just in case anybody in that town got an Amber Alert on their phone and they're like, "What's going on?" Well, they can get on here and they can see. Look, you just about had a tornado drop on your town. If it may have dropped, I don't know. Yeah, I mean these storms are all being ornery though for sure. I mean we got a lot of rotation. Let me go ahead. I'm going to switch to the end rod out here, and you can kind of see it. Kind of makes it easier to see where we have areas of rotation. See, like a lot of these storms, we got some green and blues here. We got a good amount of rotation on a lot of these spots. Nothing too crazy though. But I mean, all these storms are definitely rotating. It's just nothing to really worry about at the moment. Oh, this is up in Kansas right now. I'm looking at all these big groups of storms here up in Kansas. Yeah, these are one Reed Timmer was chasing, and I guess he decided to head back home, make the long trip back. But also too, these little tiny rotations you see here that it makes you easy to see. Like this can also be caused from hail too. So yeah, got a good amount of rotation on these storms, but I don't see anything else that's a really major threat at the moment. Bit of rotation here by Wilmore, but nothing too crazy. Actually, while we're here, we can take a look at some of the 3D views of these storms if you guys want. Here, you're crazy. EF6 and EF6, man. I didn't even know they got that big. And these storms got some juice in them, that's for sure. Big old rotating mass, that's for sure. Take a look at this one down here by Wilmore. Some size too. He's trying to do something. You can see that big broad rotation in there. Kind of your best view of it. You kind of see the big area rotation. It's really broad. Nothing tight yet. Oh, we just looked at Texas. I can pull that up on the. You have one storm in all of Texas pretty much right now. There was two, but it just got shredded. There's nothing left. So this is what's left of the big giant hailstorm that hit Austin about 2 hours ago. It's basically shredded into a baby little rain shower, and then you got this guy here. It's basically getting streamed all the way across the straight state too. I don't know. This thing might not even last. It might not even make it to Austin. It might get ripped apart before it even gets there. But yeah, I can go. I can go. Let's go hop back over there and look at that storm close up, though. You can see this thing's getting ripped apart. Seems like every 5 minutes, this thing keeps getting smaller and smaller. Still got a good amount of hail in it though. So let me see how far back I can go on this again. Not much further back. Yeah, that's a good amount. We'll see how big it was back there. Maybe this thing's maintaining its size. Looks like it might have gotten bigger. Hey, thanks, Simply Keats. Yeah, Texas is looking good at the moment. You can actually hold on a second. Let's go listen to Max Velocity's latest video for this morning. We can do that together.
large storms are coming to the United States over the next 7 days, and these will bring a bunch of different problems, including the return of significant severe weather, with damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes all a possibility. Additionally, we are expecting much warmer weather as we go into this weekend and next week after some of the coldest weather that we've seen all May long. So in today's forecast, we are going to break down exactly what you need to know about the weather that'll be impacting the United States over the next 7 days, and we'll begin with what's happening.
By the way, this is Max Velocity. I do have him linked in the description if you're wondering. If you don't know who this is, I mean, he's like one of the biggest streamers in the world. I'm just saying, we may reach some new people on the phone systems, on YouTube Shorts that may have not heard of him before. But yeah, this is Max Velocity. He's a meteorologist, and he is linked in the description. And he usually streams every day. There's bad weather
Across the country today, and we've actually had a lot of big storms over the last 24 hours, mainly back over in Texas, New Mexico, and Colorado. The majority of these storms actually began in Mexico and moved into Texas, most of which were large hail and wind producers. Didn't really see much in the way of a tornado threat yesterday, but we are expecting a tornado threat today in areas like Texas, Oklahoma, and even back up into Kansas, where we're expecting all hazards, but tornadoes are going to be a possibility. And then back over on the East Coast, we still got plenty of rain falling in addition to tons of moisture, and we are expecting showers and thunderstorms to continue today with a little bit more severe weather in the southeast and as well as tomorrow, and there will be a slightly more significant threat of severe weather on Friday for parts of Georgia, South Carolina, and even
most of it looks
Carolina.
like it's going north of you. It may hit central Oklahoma.
The United States over the next 7 days, as this will directly impact how we are going to be seeing significant severe weather for the next 7 to 10 days. Beginning with what's happening right now, we actually have an upper level low that is spinning over the Midwest today and as well as tomorrow, and this is actually helping to fuel the threat of severe weather back over in the central and southern plains today. And then as we go into tomorrow, this storm system will gradually move further east, and I think Thursday we're not talking about anything crazy for severe storms, but as this storm moves further south, it'll actually intensify and bring the threat of a more localized threat of significant severe weather back over in the southeast on Friday, with damaging winds, large hail, and perhaps even a couple of tornadoes being a possibility. And then by Saturday, this storm system is all along the East Coast, large troughing, which will continue to bring cold weather to the Midwest, Ohio Valley, Great Lakes, in addition to rainfall across areas like the Northeast. Notice how things are somewhat quiet back over on the West Coast. We got a little low pressure system back over south of California, but by no means is that significant, at least for Saturday or Sunday. But by the time we go into Monday, that low pressure system will start to move off to the Northeast as a larger scale trough develops back over on the West Coast, and this should bring the threat of severe weather on Monday to the central plains, where all hazards of severe weather would be on the table, and perhaps even a bit more of a significant day for severe weather either Monday or Tuesday, depending on the evolution of this low pressure system. And then on Tuesday and Wednesday, things start to get a little bit more uncertain, but the general synoptic weather pattern is hinting at a very large scale low pressure system over the Rockies. And notice how we have a large area of southwesterly flow in our upper level winds, and this should actually promote a more elevated threat of severe weather, likely beginning around Wednesday and then going all the way through Friday, maybe even into Saturday of this upcoming week. So definitely a long period of time here we're going to be dealing with severe weather, and that's going to be basically for anybody in this region, where we could see severe weather anytime beginning from Monday, rolling all the way through Saturday. The exact locations and the exact magnitude of the severe weather events that will be happening are uncertain, but in a few minutes I'm going to go over the future radar in the long-term forecast, and we'll talk more about what is upcoming here. But first, I want to talk a little bit more about what's happening today and tomorrow and Friday. So let's talk more about the short-term severe weather threat, beginning with today, which is Wednesday, and we have a triple dipper slight risk of severe weather in place. Got one back over in the central plains and a couple more back over in the southern plains, where our main concern for today will be basically all hazards of severe weather. We're going to be talking about some damaging wind potential, might even see some significant damaging winds in southwest Kansas this afternoon. In addition to that, some very large hail is a possibility. It's a very small area that we could see hail as large as the size of apples this afternoon, right around Dodge City, Kansas. And then there is also a chance for a few tornadoes. The greatest chance of tornadoes will be in southwestern Kansas, northwestern Oklahoma. Might even see a spin up tornado just off to the west there of Oklahoma City. Texas Panhandle, southeastern Colorado, all included.
Sorry, I don't have a radar for Australia, buddy.
2% tornado risk back over just to the west of Fort Stockton, Texas. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we got a small 2% tornado risk just to the southwest of Dallas, Fort Worth for today. I do think there's a very low off chance that there's a spin up tornado over there. there, we actually have quite a bit of wind shear in this area. It's not really strong wind shear, but we also have curved hodographs, which means we basically have winds changing directions throughout our atmosphere. So we may see an isolated tornado there if we get a discrete supercell. Otherwise, the bigger concern there will be large hail. As we go into Thursday, the threat of severe weather will be shifting even further south and further east. Another large marginal threat of severe weather in place for basically any state along the Gulf Coast.
Hey man, if I could get a radar in
straight days now, it
Australia,
is just endless
I'll do
down here. We are expecting at least some isolated severe weather on Thursday, with the main concern being isolated damaging.
I will be looking into typhoons and stuff when we do get out of tornado season, because really all we have is, just April and May. Then, sometimes in the winter we may see some action in the southern states like Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, stuff like that in the winter. Sometimes we do get some severe weather then. Other than that, we just have hurricanes. So yeah, I was gonna actually try to look into getting a hold of some radars for typhoons and stuff like that. I wanted to get into it, or at least look into it.
Winds and hail. Wouldn't rule out a spit up tornado somewhere, but we do not really have an area that I would outline at this point that has any potential of really seeing a more at least concentrated threat of a tornado for Thursday. Now let's talk more about the timing for severe weather for Wednesday all the way through Friday, beginning with what's happening today. Some scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms will be out there this morning, nothing significant. As we go into the early afternoon, destabilization is expected across Colorado, Kansas, and even parts of the Oklahoma and Texas panhandle, which is eventually when we're going to see some supercells fire up. Right around 4 to 5 o'clock, we'll start to see at least a couple of storms fire right along the Colorado and Kansas border, and these will become a little bit more organized, I think.
So that's the prediction. This is what we got right here. So that's what they predicted. This is what we have. These all fired up around 5 o'clock, and looks like they're a little further south than what was predicted, but I mean, there's a chance central Oklahoma might see a little storms tonight. Can't say for sure, but you may see some storms tonight. But this is what we have for the prediction today.
I think by about 6 to 7 o'clock tonight.
San Angelo.
And we might even see a large tornado somewhere in here in southwestern Kansas tonight. We actually have a lot of wind shear, and it is going to be a localized environment where we actually could see maybe a strong or large tornado. So this is definitely a day that you want to be staying weather aware, especially in southwest Kansas. By 7 to 8 o'clock, supercells will continue. This should start to cluster together a little bit more by about 9 to 10 o'clock tonight, becoming more of a focused damaging wind threat for northwestern Oklahoma and southern Kansas. And by 11 to 12 o'clock tonight, this area of storms will begin to weaken as it moves into Oklahoma, but isolated damaging winds should continue, and then by the time it reaches Tulsa, I think gusty winds will really be all that's left, and maybe a little bit of lightning. And as we go into Thursday, things look pretty quiet for the most part. Maybe another isolated supercell back over in the high plains that could also produce the potential for very large hail and maybe even an isolated tornado. Back over in the southern plains, things are going to kick off a little bit earlier in the day. We're expecting storms to start around 1 to 2 o'clock, mainly just off to the west of Dallas-Fort Worth near Abilene, Texas, where large hail will be the biggest concern, but there is a chance for an isolated spin-up tornado if we see a discrete supercell somewhere out here just to the southwest of Dallas-Fort Worth. By about 5 to 6 o'clock, these storms will start to cluster together more, becoming more of a wind and hail threat, but a low tornado risk may exist through about 7 o'clock tonight, and then by about 9 to 10 o'clock, most of the storms will be dying off as daylight heating starts to wind down. And then as we go into Thursday, just a few more scattered showers and thunderstorms. Most of those will be back over in the Texas Panhandle. Wouldn't rely tonight.
So that's what was predicted, right? That's what we had on the setup. But as you can see, there's really nothing that's convected in Texas right now. The only thing we got is this one little storm out here. So I don't know if we're going to have any more convection tonight. We'll see. Like I said, if anything happens, if we get any more tornado warnings and it's heading towards some towns, I'll jump right back on to be live. I'm going to make sure people are warned. But right now, this looks like all we have up here pretty much in north part of Texas, and some north Oklahoma, and mostly in Kansas. Well, after we finish this video, I'll go ahead and go back up there and look at some of those storms
somewhere back over between Houston and also the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And then back over in the southeast, we are expecting a few showers and thunderstorms today to be relatively scattered anywhere from Louisiana back into Georgia and Florida. As we go into Thursday, a little bit more of an organized threat of severe weather may evolve back over in Georgia and also along the Gulf Coast. But generally speaking, a lot of this just going to be isolated hail and wind. We're not really expecting much of a tornado threat. Really, the big day will be on Friday. We are expecting storms to fire up during the early afternoon hours, anywhere from about North Carolina back into Georgia. A couple clusters of thunderstorms will develop and are slight risk of severe weather, with damaging winds being the biggest concern. But there could also be a couple of spin up tornadoes on Friday, and in addition to that, some large hail is also possible. This is by about 4 to 5 o'clock. These two clusters will continue to move to the east with mainly a damaging wind threat, but again, an isolated tornado still a possibility. Some storms will also develop near the Gulf Coast, once again with large hail and damaging winds possible. And then by around 7 to 8 o'clock, those storms are moving through southern South Carolina with damaging winds continuing, and again, an isolated tornado being possible. So again, really right now looks like today and maybe Friday are live stream days. I would say right now it's a very low chance of us going live either day, but it is a possibility. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel and click the bell icon so you're notified if we do go live. Now, beyond Friday, the severe weather threat is going to start to get, I think, a lot more interesting, where we are talking about a more organized threat of severe weather. So Saturday and Sunday right now look to be somewhat quiet. I don't think we're going to be talking about anything organized. High pressure is going to be dominating most of the lower 48, really anywhere across the lower 48. We're not really talking about much rain Saturday or Sunday. If you get rain, consider yourself lucky or maybe unlucky. I don't know how you want to put it. As we go into Monday, the threat of severe weather will begin to return back over in the Great Plains. Low pressure will be right over Colorado, New Mexico. We should at least get some isolated supercells on Monday, anywhere from the Texas Panhandle back up into Kansas and maybe Nebraska, with the biggest concern being hail and wind, but a tornado or two are definitely going to be in play with this sort of setup. Should have plenty of wind shear on Monday. It's just going to be a matter of how many storms actually fire. On Tuesday, that low pressure system moves further to the north and northeast into North Dakota, and we should see more storms fire off back over in the Midwest on Tuesday, with all hazards of severe weather once again being on the table. On Wednesday, another low pressure system moves over the Rockies with more scattered to numerous severe weather as a possibility. Again, it's not certain since we could still see things change. Anywhere basically in the Great Plains would have some level of a risk of severe weather on Wednesday. As we go into Thursday, the threat of severe weather will shift further to the east, back over into the Midwest, and also back through Kansas and Oklahoma, with all hazards of severe weather once again on the table. And then on Friday, the threat of severe weather does become a lot more uncertain, but if we were to continue to see severe weather on Friday, it would likely be back over in the Midwest and also the Ohio Valley. So again, very active stretch of weather is ahead here over the next 10 to 14 days. We will have a break this weekend, but again, keep in mind that it's going to get active once again next week. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel, click the bell icon so you're notified with the latest updates. We will continue to have daily.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and link him in the chat if anybody doesn't know who he is. This is Max Velocity. I'm not a meteorologist. I'm just a storm spotter, so I have to go by the man's word. But I can let you know if a storm's coming. But he's all about predicting and forecasting the weather. Yeah, it looks like our only threat right now is up here. And then we'll see if that storm actually makes it down to Austin. Let me go ahead and hop back up the radar, see if we have any more crazy rotation forming up here in Kansas and Oklahoma. Not looking too bad. And we got a lot of rotation everywhere, but nothing that looks too crazy. This was our storm right here that was just warned. Had a tornado warning for a while, maybe dropped on the ground, I'm not sure. Still got a little bit of rotation on it. Let me take a look at it again, get a 3D model of it, see what it's looking like. It's still got some rotation, just doesn't look nearly as powerful as it was. Turn up the velocity some. Yeah, it's just, it doesn't have the strength that it used to. So that's a good thing that fell apart. Yeah, I mean, pretty much you see it right here. These are our storms. They're coming through Oklahoma and Kansas. They're coming. Most likely, if these come towards you, you're going to see some hail and some winds. But if we do have another tornado warning, I'll make sure that I will bring the stream back up. Like we see something coming towards the town. Is there anybody else that's concerned about any area before I turn down the stream for now? All right, guys. Well, thanks for stopping in. And like I said, I'll go live again if we have something crazy happen. San Antonio, let me pull it up again real quick. Right now, we got one storm in Texas, and it's right down here by Austin. Let's actually take another look at that one real quick. That's the only one left we have in Texas right now. Yeah, this is what's left of the big hailer that hit Texas or Austin about 2 hours ago. Yeah, this is the only storm we have. It's down here by it's heading towards Marble Falls, Horseshoe Bay. Nothing near San Antonio. Let's see, there you down here. Okay, yeah. Nothing near San Antonio at the moment. But yep, that's what's left of it. Like I said, guys, thanks for stopping in. Like and subscribe if you want. I'll go ahead and I'll turn the stream back on if we have any more severe weather come in. Thanks again, guys.